Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about an action thriller film called The Call-Up from 2016. Enjoy your viewing. In the near future, 8 cool gamers are going up to the top floor of the room. They have agreed to take part in a new game called The Call-Up, with a top prize of $100,000. A robotic voice prompts them to register on their tablets. From now on, they will address each other only by their game nicknames. Next, they are ordered to put on special suits with motion tracking technology that facilitate movement. Because Adam, a famous gamer, is overweight, one of the guys makes fun of him. Carl explains that his nickname is the nickname of his cat. Adam's body shows signs of severe burns. After changing clothes, the teams enter a large hall where they see an inscription on the wall. Players take turns standing on the scanner and saying their nickname. After that, they get access to cool armor and ammunition made of high-quality materials that allow them to fully immerse themselves in the game. Adam is surprised because such costumes are very expensive. Zahid is unhappy with his nickname, saying it was only ironic, and refuses to put on the armor. A voice announces that the training will begin only when all the participants put on the equipment. But Zahid wants to leave. This is impossible. All the doors are locked. The others convince him to put on the suit, and the training begins. As soon as the players close their helmets, the world around them changes into post-apocalyptic ruins, and the armor turns into a real military uniform. However, most of the objects around are not real. A sergeant enters the room and orders the recruits to line up. The players pick up their helmets and realize that this is just a virtual NPC who will show them how to play. The soldier hands out cool weapons to the players, which turn out to be plastic toys. Then he teaches them to shoot at the bottles. Some of them hit the target, others miss, making excuses that the guns are not calibrated properly. The sergeant says that the first hit on a recruit loses his vest, and shoots 2 to prove it. After losing the vest, the wounds can only be treated with first aid kits, which are rarely found in the locations. The goal of the players is to knock the terrorists out of the building and get to the ground floor alive. Whoever scores the most points will receive the main prize of $100,000. The game begins. Andre leads the others because he served in the army and took part in real combat operations. They explore their floor and come across the first bandit. Andre kills the enemy, and the squad miraculously escapes with no casualties. A robotic voice says that level 25 is complete. All the points go to Andre. They descend to the floor below and see an exposed electrical cable on the stairs that will kill anyone who tries to go further without completing the current level. Here, the team finds a new weapon, an M4 assault rifle. Andre teaches the others how to use this powerful weapon. The 24th floor is much bigger. There are several enemies with excellent weapons. There are shelters and partitions around for tactical teamwork. Andre saves Adam from an enemy's point-blank shot, but loses his bulletproof vest. Taylor is already tired of the realism of what is happening and just wants to go home. The girl admits that she used someone else's nickname and has never played shooters herself. Shelley assures her that it's just a simulation, but he doesn't dare to make a shot himself. Carl kills the terrorist, but another enemy viciously shoots him in the back, destroying his bulletproof vest. The guy wants to surrender, but instead gets shot in the stomach. Shelley shoots the enemy, runs to Carl, who is in incredible pain from the wound. The girl takes off her helmet. In real life, there is no blood, but it seems that her friend is really in pain. Andre runs up and gives Carlo his first aid kit. The wound is instantly healed, but it is obvious that Carl has experienced a real nightmare. The team decides to take a break. Adam thinks they are taking part in some kind of reality show. Zahid panics when he can't get his armor off. He's sure that they're being tested on the latest military technology, and that Andre, as a former soldier, is somehow involved. The others also accuse Andre and demand that he tell the truth. While the guys are arguing, they don't hear the robot's phrase, "level reset." Andre can't take it anymore and leaves everyone to their fate. In the restroom, he realizes that something is wrong. He takes off his helmet and gets shot at point-blank range, but the first aid kit is no longer in his pockets. Another enemy shoots at Edward, and he falls to the floor. Fortunately, the first aid kit immediately heals his wounds. Taylor wants to go down the stairs, but the electric cable makes it impossible. Adam throws a grenade at random and kills the rest of the bandits. Andre, bleeding, crawls down the hallway, pleading for help, but the others are too busy fighting. The robot announces that the level is over. Adam has the best score. Now the team hears the screams of their wounded comrade. As they search for Andre, he hears a countdown in his armor, after which he is killed by a powerful electric shock from his helmet directly to his brain. The others find him and try to revive him, but it's too late. The guys realize that the helmet killed him. Zahid asks Carl to smash his helmet with a fire extinguisher. The player hits with all his might, but only injures his friend, because all the armor is made of extremely strong material. Suddenly, a sergeant appears and severely criticizes Zahid for breaking the rules. The others look on in amazement. The sergeant warns that those who try to leave the game will be severely punished. Despite their lack of military training, the recruits manage to complete several levels without loss thanks to their coordinated actions. On the 19th floor, they even have to fight exclusively with knives, because according to legend, a gas leak occurred there. On the next level, Adam and Carl are shot, but the team has enough first aid kits to save them. After completing the level, the fighters see that it is night in the real world. Zahid wants to draw the attention of the people below to the situation, and desperately tries to break a window. When a crack appears on it, the sergeant returns and pushes the guy down the stairs. The poor guy has an open fracture in his leg. The team hides Zahid on one of the floors and continues on. Soon the guy dies of blood loss. On the 11th floor, the toughest player, Mark, is shot in the leg. Carl helps the player by giving him his first aid kit. While everyone is fighting, Taylor hides in the restroom. A bandit opens the door, and the girl has to eliminate him with a knife. After completing the level, the team takes a short break. The players talk about themselves. It turns out that Shelley's parents are dead. Carl lives alone. Adam has only his grandmother with Alzheimer's disease. Mark is divorced, and Edward is an orphan. Zahid was most likely an illegal immigrant. The boys realize that they are in a game, because if they die, no one will remember them. On the 9th floor, the group finds a sergeant. The next task is to get the code to defuse the bomb from the enemy before it explodes and destroys the entire building. The prisoner speaks only Russian, and has 2 high-voltage wires connected to his chest. Edward electrocutes the man, despite his pleas for mercy. After a few minutes, the bandit gives up and repeats the word Pushkin. Adam enters the word into the computer, but the code is wrong, and the countdown to the explosion begins. Taylor shoots the prisoner in cold blood. Mark freaks out, accuses Adam of entering the code incorrectly, and beats him in real life. Taylor also gets hit. The boys see the sergeant holding the elevator doors and run inside. The elevator stops on the 5th floor. Mark holds the door so that the others can run out, but he doesn't let Adam get out, and the door closes. The elevator takes Adam and Mark to the 3rd level. At this time, the other players pass the 5th level and go down to the 4th. One of the bandits throws a smoke bomb, which causes a hysterical reaction in Carl. He hides behind a corner and explains that his girlfriend died in a fire. There are severe burn marks on the guy's body. Meanwhile, Mark makes Adam walk ahead, using him as a human shield. When the enemy appears, Mark hides, and the terrorist shoots Adam. He has no more ammunition or first aid kits left, so soon his helmet kills him with an electric shock. There are 5 fighters left in the game. The recruits pass the 4th level and descend to the 3rd, where Mark cowardly hides behind a corner. As a result, 4 players reach the 1st floor. The girl, who was in hiding, follows them unnoticed. While the 3 soldiers are firing back at the enemies, Taylor runs to look for first aid kits. She finds one, but at that moment, Mark grabs her arm. When she refuses to give up the find, he eliminates her. Carl meets Mark and asks if he has seen Taylor. The scoundrel lies that he hasn't seen her and walks away. Carl finds the girl's body, realizes that Mark has betrayed the team, and decides to deal with him in the real world. The boys fight, but Mark defeats his opponent. At this point, a sergeant appears and, for disobeying orders, activates an electric shock in his helmet, killing Mark. The 3 remaining players go down to the underground parking lot, the final level of the game, and disassemble the powerful weapons. They kill all the enemies and hurry to the bomb, which has only a few minutes left before it explodes. Suddenly, the final boss with a machine gun appears from the van and shoots Carl. The guy is about to use the last first aid kit, but the boss hits the girl. Then Carl sacrifices himself to save the girl. Edward destroys the last enemy with a shot from a grenade launcher and defused the bomb. Carl holds Shelley's hand and dies from a powerful discharge to the brain. He leaves this world in peace, knowing that he saved her life. A sergeant in uniform appears and congratulates the winners. Edward repeats every word of the soldier's speech, which means that he is a real traitor. The game ends. The virtual world disappears, and 3 guards enter the basement to take away the body. Shelley grabs a toy machine, but is immediately injected with a tranquilizing injection. All information about the players is erased from the database, as if they never existed. Suddenly, Shelley regains consciousness. Edward notices this and approaches her. The man is surprised. He didn't expect the girl to go all the way and win. Shelley doesn't understand why he had to kill her comrades. The man replies that he gave their lives some meaning. He adds that it's useless to go to the police. No one will believe them. A guard approaches to give Shelley another injection, but she takes the syringe away and puts the man to sleep. The girl takes the gun from him, shoots at the transformer, and the lights in the parking lot go out. Edward sends the guards to chase after the fugitive, but Shelley uses the knowledge she gained in the game and kills them both. Edward begs for his life, but the girl doesn't want to play anymore and shoots the villain right in the head. Shelley goes outside to be greeted by the dawn.
If you have watched the video so far, you should know that I am happy to have viewers like you. Thank you for watching to the end. Subscribe to the channel and follow the news. Klonsak Recapped was with you. See you soon.